What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey back with another Breaking Orbit podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something that 100% of people suffer with at some level, no matter who you are or where you've been, whatever level of success you have experienced in your life. We all struggle with it in some way. And today, we're going to talk about how you can deal with it, how you can overcome this aspect of being a successful individual. If you ever wondered why you can't do the things you want to do when you want to do them, if you've ever wondered why you struggle or deal with the challenge of overcoming a bad habit, of installing a new one, whatever the case may be, this is the episode for you. Breaking Orbit podcast starts right now. So one of the things that I've learned over the course of being an entrepreneur and path of development is that there's always going to be periods of time when you can't seem to get momentum, when you seem stuck in the mud. And when you look at what's happening in those periods of time, right, it has a very depressing effect. You really feel like you are struggling to get the results and move forward like you really want to get. And if you've ever been spinning your wheels trying to figure out what that is, why you can't move forward, there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about today that may be helpful for you. First of all, I want to encourage those of you who are watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, watching, listening on audio, whatever the case may be, drop a comment below. Let us know what you're discovering from this conversation. Make sure you're liking and subscribing and sharing this with others as well. We want it to be valuable for you, so give us some feedback as well. Let us know what is most valuable for you and what you've been experiencing. All right. That being said, I can remember many times when I've set goals, things in my life, and I felt like, I'm not able to accomplish these things. I don't know why. I'm not sure what's happening. Why am I not able to hit the level of success I want to be able to hit? It's really a struggle. It's really been frustrating. And many of us experience this in our businesses when you are trying to hit a goal, when you're trying to accomplish certain things. You're trying to force yourself, will yourself to victory, if you will. And it feels like there's always something that gets you stuck. You forget something. You leave something out. You screw up in some way, and now you are beating yourself up. And so a lot of times what happens is we start doom spiraling out of that because of our thought process around what we're experiencing in terms of that. And that term, in many ways, is called self-sabotage. Why do we do that to ourselves? Why are we the ones that are blowing up the bridge that we've built to take us from where we are to the dreams that we have, to the goals and the destinations and the outcomes that we want to create? Why do we do this to ourselves? And the reason why is because there are multiple versions of us inside of us at any given time, right? So there is a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old and a 30-year-old. And as you go on progressively, there's every version of you that's ever been you inside of you that is at some point or another running the operation. And whatever story it is that they are operating from, whatever it is they believe, they're going to be the ones that are going to do this. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right, there's a fundamental basis that everyone has. And oftentimes, even though we're trying to evolve to higher levels of success and become a higher version of ourselves, so to speak, we're always dealing with the fact that there is a fundamental base level version of us that is also operating there. And this is what many people call the primal brain, right? Whereas when you're afraid, if you're in a dangerous situation, your primal fear kicks in. You may be evolved at higher levels, but we're all operating within a construct of a human body. And we have these instincts that tell us that we're unsafe, that we're in uncharted territory, that there's something unsafe about becoming a better version or a different version of ourselves. And if that's the case, how do we manage that? How do we navigate that space to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish, to grow our business, to step into a new relationship, to be a better leader, to be more impactful in our community, to be able to affect the dreams and things that we have in our lives, to put those things out into the world. How do we do that? How do we make that possible? And it can be so frustrating when you're trying time and time again to do that thing. So I want to focus on one particular aspect of that. And I was actually originally going to entitle this podcast episode, The Power of Belief. But I realized that one of the things that sabotages us is not that we don't believe in ourselves, but it's what we believe about ourselves that restricts us from becoming who we want to be, right? That narrative, that story that we have is one that is invisible to us, that we've written, that may have been written for us, but we're living out that story each and every day because we need a story. We need a narrative to be able to dictate how we play our character, how we play our role in the world. And many of us are playing roles that we don't want to play. If you're an entrepreneur, you envision yourself as a certain person, but there's a level of entrepreneurship that you're able to attain. There's a level of success you're able to achieve simply because you believe a certain thing about yourself. You have told yourself or been told a certain thing about yourself that you simply adopt. And if that permeates your existence, if that if that really forms the basis and the core of your identity, then you're going to struggle time and time again with being able to break out of that. And so a way that you get to deal with that is learning how to reframe that narrative, to rewrite that script, the role that you're playing. You get to be the director. You get to be the cinematographer. You get to be the set designer in every way. And if you don't feel in control of any of those elements, it's going to hold you back. If you're not getting what you want, then in some way there's a version of you that is telling you you don't deserve it, you're not worthy of it, this isn't for you. And I can say that because I myself have been in the very same situation and still deal with that very often. I have a conversation with my coaches, Chad and Holly, a couple of weeks ago, and talking about the fact that sometimes I'm not thinking big enough, I'm not dreaming big enough because in my mind I've shrunk myself back down to size to where I feel like I'm supposed to be subconsciously. Some version of me at some point believed that success was possible for everyone else but me. And now recognizing that there's a calling on all of us to be a bigger, more powerful, more impactful version, the gifted version of yourself, right? We're all created with a special, unique, and powerful gift, this capacity to create an impact in the world in a singular way. And most of us don't live into that. And few of us live into it all the time because we are always battling with that, wrestling with that idea of who and what we should be. And so because of that, the challenge is, how do we continue to navigate forward if we're the ones that keep steering the ship off course, that keep punching a hole in the boat so that we keep sinking and drowning? Well, here's one of the things you get to do. First of all, recognize that you have a gift. And your gift, according to 3 laws of giftedness, and I talk about this in the book, there are 3 laws of giftedness that really form the basis. And when you understand and accept these laws, it's transformative for you. The first law is that everyone has a gift, right? No one person is more special than another. I know there are people that have this idea, well, some people are special. Stop down to think that everyone is a special snowflake. It's not about being a special snowflake. It's about understanding that everyone has a master creator inside of them, and that master creator is not the same as someone else. We are all unique in our capacity. The problem is that we only value certain things, and until you accept that this is for you, that this is who you are, your true core identity, you cannot live into that. You can't master it. So you have a special, unique, and powerful gift. Everyone has this. Giftedness law, number 2. Second law of giftedness says that every gift has a purpose. And so because of that, many of us are chasing often other purposes, or we feel like we lack purpose. So having a purpose and purpose in itself, lacking purpose, moving with intention in your life will always sabotage you because you can be easily distracted. The average person has between 40,000 and 70,000 different thoughts every single day. If you do not have a singular guiding thought that helps you to navigate and cut through the noise each and every day, each and every minute of every day, something you can tack back to your true north, your North Star. If you don't have that, then you will become distracted. You'll get off course. It's natural, it's inevitable. And you need to have something that is strong enough and powerful enough to pull you back on course. The last thing, the third law of giftedness says that no gift can fail the purpose for which it was created. Meaning that a lot of the things that happen to us when it comes to self-sabotage is the idea that we're going to fail. And so because we believe in failure more than we believe in ourselves, we choose a failure. We find ways to fail. We create ways to fail. Right? So we're going to be distracted because we procrastinate, or because we're fearful, or because we're uncertain, or we're insecure. And these things will rise up to trip us up when it seems like we should have smooth sailing, when we've charted a course forward, we feel like we've got what we want. And we see this over and over again, time and time again, because we choose bad decisions, even when successful people. We can look at Silicon Valley Bank and how the executives act. We can look at Sam Bankman-Fried and how he acted. We can look at any number of celebrities who've had a high level of success. We can look at Kanye or different people that have reached their way to the forefront of their industry, of their domain, and yet and still they pull the rug out from under themselves. And why is that? Because fundamentally there is a belief that we all have that we're maybe not worthy, maybe not deserving, maybe not good enough. And what's interesting about that is that studies show that successful people are typically the ones that think more highly of themselves, right? They believe that they're deserving of wealth and riches and things of that nature. What's actually at play, though, is that they need that higher level of success to feel more validated in and of themselves. And when you need that, you're actually out of integrity with your gift. You're actually out of integrity with your superpower, because what happens is you're achieving these things, but you don't feel like you're the person that's really doing it. You're afraid that someone's going to come in and steal it away from you, to rip the metal off of your chest, to tell you that it was a mistake the whole time. It really was somebody else. And so rather than have someone else do it, you do it yourself. You tear down the relationship, you blow it up. It's really an implosion. It's an inside job. And so when the enemy is the inner me, why do I have to be afraid of what other people are going to do to me? Because I'm the one that's tearing it down. And I would find that happening to myself. I see that happening to my clients time and time again. We will trip ourselves up in many small ways. And if we can't get it in the small ways, we'll do it in the big ones. Unless you have a framework, an operating system that allows you to be able to navigate this time and time again, installing the best habits, having the right support structure, having a mechanism to be able to be more self-aware, to catch these thoughts faster and faster, to be able to navigate through that time and time again. If you can build those things into your life, create the structure around yourself that allows you to be more impacted and more impactful, to not be derailed by negative thinking and by these tendencies that we have as human beings to choose a lesser version of ourselves, to choose lesser outcomes, to be caught up in short-term thinking, to play a shorter game rather than doing what is best for us, doing what we are best at, and being the best version of ourselves. It's a phrase I almost hate using it because we use it so much now, the best version of yourself. Well, what if there is no best version of yourself? There's only your true self. And your true self is that best version. But we keep choosing a version of ourselves that is not who we are, because we believe that we're something other than what we've been taught. Or we believe that we're something other than what we were created to be, what we were meant to be. If you start to really understand who you are and what you're capable of and what you are destined for, and you live into that, you create a new reality for yourself. You write a different script. It's a completely different movie, right? You're rewriting the whole thing. And now the character that you're playing, instead of the villain, you're playing the superhero. Because that's who you really are. Imagine if Superman, the actor who was going to play Superman walked into it and he thought he was a villain the whole time. And he's playing that version. The movie is all screwed up. It doesn't make sense. And for most of us, we walk through a movie in our own lives and things don't make sense to us because we're actually playing the wrong character. We're playing the villain and we're sabotaging ourselves. We're sabotaging our own storyline. Because in the end, we come out victorious and on top. That's who you were created to be. That's the character that God wrote for you. That's the role that God wrote for you. And if you're not living into that, and you're playing the wrong role, you're going to have the wrong outcomes. It's just not possible to live that way if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing and we're not being who we're supposed to be. If you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay. Watching this live, even now, drop a comment and let me know what you're discovering from this process. Self-sabotage does not have to be a thing. The first thing you have to do is become aware of it. Become aware that it is happening. Where are you in self-sabotaging behaviors? Whether it's addictions, ways that we're coping with different things. I'll talk more about this on another podcast, but the fact that we build these coping mechanisms are actually normal. Addictions are actually a normal part of the process. It's that they are undesirable because they force us or they lead us in the wrong direction, away from outcomes that we want to have. So how do we avoid getting into that in the first place? How do we overcome them when they have taken hold of us? What's possible for you if you are able to escape this and to be able to get out of the doom spiral and to be able to get out of the self-sabotaging behaviors and be able to create a different outcome for yourself, who you want to be, what you want to be able to create for yourself and for your family. The highest level of success is possible for each and every one of us, but only when we are on the highest path. When we're on that journey that takes us up the mountain to the summit. Hopefully this has been valuable for you. I hope that you will share with me what you're discovering. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for those of you who are watching live. And if you're watching this on replay, I look forward to your comments and thoughts as well. If you are looking for support for yourself, for your team, to overcome self-sabotage, to be able to discover your own gift, how you can utilize that to be able to create more power and impact in the world and your business, feel free to reach out, send me a DM, comment below, contact us so we can be able to support you and help you to build the framework and the operating software for success. As always, my name is Frederick Douglass Bussey. This has been the Breaking Orbit Podcast. Ever forward.